Hello and welcome to the Round 21 Fantasy Take TV podcast. Today on the agenda, we're going to go over our positives and negatives for Round 21. Crips replacements. So he's been given 2 weeks, but I think they're going to appeal that. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed, but we'll discuss them anyway. We're going to reflect on our most important sliding doors moments of the year, whichever trades that would have affected us the most. Also, Discord questions and captains. Boys, how are we?
Good, George. It's good of you to show up, isn't it, JD?
Yeah, I would say not good. In fact, slightly steamed. Enno and I have been waiting around for over an hour while George is sitting there playing poker. We can ping him, try to contact him every single way. I was about to find ways to get in touch with his family. We were worried that the man had had too much sugar and he'd OD'd or something. And instead he's just lost on bloody poker on his screen. So look, I'll recover, but I'm not even sure what he thought had happened to us, because I told him, look, I'm putting the kids to bed. I'll be half hour off. It's an hour and a half later. Weren't you concerned about my welfare if none of us had showed up? Nah, man. Got pocket aces. We're all good. In terms of SuperCoach, I had an all right week. I think I top scored again. I've said that a few weeks in a row now, which is pretty nice. So 25.94 up to 2.1k overall, and closing in on George. I believe if I had that Sam Hayes 80 whatever that I missed out earlier in the year, I'd actually already be ahead. But we're closing in.
It's the second time you've told me that.
Yep. Just reminding myself of that unfortunate move. All right, Enno, how was your week?
Yeah, I guess we can do the 3, 2, 1s at the end. 2,518 for me. So you've jumped me, JD, and I find myself at the bottom again. So we'll see what happens the next 2 weeks. But I think we'll all pretty much land within similar areas. JD might be able to storm ahead, but we're not really getting much further than this, maybe to 1,500th or something like that. But top 1k is pretty much off the table, I think, now. Too much ground to make up. The last
Still
300
points away, something, right?
It's a chance,
possible, but unlikely.
Look, Crips out for me helps me, because maybe those without trades. Well, it helps all of us, I guess. If you can, well, actually, Jaws doesn't have trades, but like JD, it doesn't help you, but it might help me and JD. So I'm 2.3k. I expect to probably land 1,700 or something, but that's guessing anyway. So, George, have you said your score, and who's your 3, 2, 1s?
I scored 2,527, ranked 1.7k. So hanging on for dear life. Being in front of you guys. I think I've been in front of you guys for must be 3 months now, but I think it's going to be the last time I can say that. But yeah, just to clarify, I've been sitting in front of my computer for an hour thinking that waiting for JD, but it was actually the opposite. I missed the Discord pings completely, and I'm just playing games on the computer trying to wait. So okay, we'll work on that. But yes,
there was multiple pings. It wasn't one.
I didn't see the pings. That's all I'll say. I blame Discord. They need to fix that glitch. Anyway, my 3, 2, 1s. I'll go for -3. So -3 is Crips for getting suspended. So this is significantly going to impact my rank if he doesn't get off. I don't know if he gets off or not. We'll see, but I would appreciate that. Otherwise, I'll get probably a 70 from C-Mac. He's been pretty good lately. Second worst, this hurts, but I'm going to say Will Brodie. You guys don't have Will Brodie, and his 5-round is only 85 average, so that's probably one of the reasons why you guys are creeping up on me. And then the last one has to be Bailey Dale. He has to tell Treloar and Daniel to get the hell off his kick-ins. Not good enough. Only took 3 on the weekend. Daniel took 5 and Treloar took a few. So my 3 votes for MVP, Clayton Oliver, vice captained against Collingwood, so pretty free VC there. Second has to be Rory Laird, just keeps ticking along. Watching him kick 2 goals, he's barely kicked 2 goals all year, I think, and he's kicked 2 in the first 5 minutes, so that was quite fun to watch in his 200th. And then 1 vote I have to give to big Oscar McInerney for telling Ford to stay in the reserves and don't come back. Got a 110 from Big O, so we take that every day of the week. JD, what's your 3-2-1s for the week.
Yeah, so -3. I think it has to go to Shrek. A 59, just not acceptable. I felt like he played better than it, to be honest, and maybe a little bit stiff on the -3. But yeah, a lot of shark tit outs in a game he could have easily, gone closer to a 90 or 100. So yeah, being outscored by Teagle in his second AFL game as well. That's just not on. The -2 will go to Stringer. So for those that watched the game, GWS kicked a goal pretty quickly. The first thing Stringer then did after that goal was kicked was run straight through Himmel in like a meter in front of the umpire, like shoulder into sternum, knocked him flat over, gave Himmelberg a free kick straight away. So Himmelberg kicked a goal again off that before even the second centre bounce. And now it really teed up the game for Stringer, just the 44 points. I'm using him as like a loophole cover at the moment, but I can't do much with the 44. I'd rather have a rookie. So Stringer with the -2, and then -1. Look, it's a toss-up for me, probably between Merritt and Short. And I think Merritt probably gets the pass. Even though he could have done more to work through the tag, he was at least tagged. Short, just, chronic underperformer at the moment, so he gets a -1. On the 3-2-1, look, Oliver and Laird, I think, are really good choices, and it always feels great to nail your VC and C, and those are the ones we're advocating for last week. So both worthy of points, but given that Merritt's dunk this week and that would have made George happy, I figured I'd give my 3-2-1 to players that would pain him to hear the 3-2-1 for. So 3 straight off the boat is going to Heaney, 121. He's got a 5-round average of, what is it now? 109.4, 3-round average of 110. Absolute dream pickup over the back half of the year. So very happy with Heaney. 2 points is going to Petrarca, who backed up with his second 130 in a row after George traded him to Steele. And then the one, look,
70 so far.
I think the one will go to Sinclair. Look, 116, I've definitely had other players that scored better than that, but just given it was a tough game, to see him put in another top 6 primo score like that, very, very happy with Sinclair. So those are my 3-2-1s. George, thoughts on those?
Sinclair's getting tagged by Ryan Clark. Petrarca's knee's going to flare up. He's been cooking some sort of yellow cake on not that yellow cake.
Yeah, I heard don't eat the yellow cake.
You traded him out after he started his TikTok account, mate. You should have known better,
because he was cooking sugar stuff, and that feeds inflammation for his knee. But it doesn't seem to be flaring up. So and Steele rolled his ankle or something like that. I don't know. On the AFL app, they said it was injured, but I'm not exactly sure. But it should be fine. So yeah, stop watching YouTube's chiropractor in advice, and then you don't end up with trades like this.
Oh my god!
We'll move on.
Excuse for everything. I'll quickly do mine. I've got similar players to a lot of you boys. Like the 3 negative is Shrek, of course. The 2 is probably Shorty as well, and then the 1 is either Steele or Merritt. Maybe Steele, just because the 93 isn't great, or Brayshaw. Other than that, no one really too terrible that I can. Maybe Baz, actually. 30 touches and a goal and barely sniffed a 90 is probably worthy of a 1 voter there. And then the 3 best, I think 1 maybe Witts, just for finally pulling his finger out. 2 to probably Track as well, and then 3 to, I'll just give it to Nick Dacos for another 130. Just absolutely unreal. So we'll move on.
Yep, we'll go straight into Crips replacements. So we don't know for sure if he's going to be out, but as it stands, he's banned for 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll see them appeal. I think there's a chance he gets off because of
maybe
the
end of 1.
Willie Rioli precedent early in the year where he nearly took Rao's head off. But that's nothing that we can control there. So for replacements, so Crips, fortunately, he's not worthless anymore. I think he was low 500s. Now he's bumped up to 553, I think. Something like that. 553, yep. So we have options this time around. So some on the list here: Walsh, Mills, Parrish, Brayshaw in the midfield, and a bit lower than his price if you don't have a bit of money in the bank. There's LDU and Warner, who've been great over the past month. Warner has been tagged, so if you take that game out, he's actually been quite good. And Ollie Wines has Essendon and the Crows, so should be an okay fixture there. So start with you, JD. Do you have a preference for who you are trading Crips to?
Yes, I do. I would love to trade him to Brayshaw at 554k. Unfortunately, I'm 700 off that, so I won't be doing said things.
Would you?
Look,
are you considering just on Brayshaw? He plays GWS in round 23.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried that he gets tagged in that game. So look, I think if you had the money for any of the ones listed of Walsh, Mills, Parrish, Brayshaw, I think Mills probably has the nicest fixture. I guess there's some risk of a tag in the final round against the Saints, but it probably goes to Warner over Mills, just with how teams have been tagging the Swans. Walsh, I actually like a fair bit because the midfield, I don't like their matchups are kind of tough. Well, not really. So Melbourne's given up points to midfielders, and Collingwood is an easy one. And then if you've got no Kennedy, Crips, or Hewitt in the midfield, it's literally Walsh's world. So Walsh is actually probably the one I would go to of the top priced ones listed. Then I'd go to Mills. Then I guess Parrish or Brayshaw comes down to whether or not you think Brayshaw will get tagged. For those below Crips, so LD, Warner, Wines, I think Warner is the one most likely to get tagged. So for me, it comes down to LD or Wines. I think LD has just been in better form. So I probably have him over Wines at the moment. And that's probably where I'd go if I was going for a straight midfielder. Eno?
Yeah, so splitting it up to like ones, for Walsh, you'll need 20k. So for those above, I also do like Walsh. Same reasons you stated. He'll be getting 80% CBAs. Whilst it isn't great. Well, yeah. Whilst it isn't great, obviously having support from those guys, it's Sam Walsh. He'll find enough of the footy, probably get 40 touches a week and, puts his base at around 110. So if he manages to, get some tackles, use it better than his average, then he can go big. And then probably second to that is Parrish, I would say, for those two. And then maybe Mills. Mills is just sort of, I don't know, he's rolling along at the moment. I think there's more upside for like a 2-week period for those other two guys. Like Parrish could go bang, bang in the last 2 rounds and really get you some big points, which is sort of what you want for just a 2-week sort of punt. And then below, I think it's LDU for me. I know it's North, but he's actually been really, really good the last almost 2 months. So I don't mind him with a pretty decent fixture as well. It's Adelaide this week and Gold Coast in the last. So I actually don't mind him as a bit of a punt as well. Where would you land, George?
If I had a bit more money, I'd actually go for Darcy Parrish. I think he got a 120 on the weekend. He plays Port and then Richmond.
Yeah.
I think he was gone 200 on them 190 on them last year or something. So I do quite like Parrish, and I think he did well on them this year as well. So I actually quite like Parrish. He was going really well before the calf cork, and then obviously had a bit of troubles, bit up and down with that issue. So I'd actually go Parrish. Interestingly, with Walsh, just watching him on the weekend against Brisbane, it's like doing a half tag on Neil in the first quarter, and he only had 2 disposals, so he was closely checking Neil. But yeah, it was a very tough matchup against the Lions. I think the Lions mids actually played quite well, and he just couldn't get his hands on it. But after quarter time wasn't too bad. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because if Crips isn't there was just not a whole lot of support. He had to do a lot of heavy lifting. So yeah, interesting one with Walsh, but I still feel it should be a safe 110 from here. But I actually quite like Parrish, and I'm a bit worried about Brayshaw against the Giants because they're showing that they are tagging again. Below the price, LDU has a nice run. He plays the Crows and Gold Coast. Gold Coast are quite a good contested midfield though, so they're probably like a mid-range matchup, I guess, for the midfield. Warner's been quite good. Sydney's fixture isn't too bad either. And Ollie Wines' fixture is actually quite good. He plays the Crows and Essendon. So I'd probably go LDU. I think the Crows tend to bleed points to big-bodied mids. It's happened for years now and hasn't really changed. So I think I'd go LDU. But I think these are all options that I'd be quite happy with. So that's where I land on that.
JD, did you bring up your preferred or different option?
Yeah, so for those that have a F7 M9 already, there is another option, which is to trade in. Oh, and you don't have defender cover, right? So you can trade in someone like a the other Brayshaw, Gus Brayshaw, and use that person then to create cover across all lines. So if you're going down to 0 trades like I am, this seems like a pretty attractive option because it does cover me in the event that I pick up another injury next week in defense, as long as it isn't a pure defender option. So it can't be a Doherty, a Sicily, a Stewart, someone like that. But for anyone else, I would be able to cover them using Brayshaw. So that would be my other option. I either go LDU or I go Angus Brayshaw.
Who's playing midfield now? Like the others? Yeah, I like it. I actually think I would heavily consider that over. Look, if you can't get one of the top options, right? If you don't have cash to get one of the top guys, which will probably give you more points, then I'll be happy to go him over the LDUs or the Wines or whatever, because I think he can score. Similarly, he's been really, really good since going in there. Carlton this week, like we said, they've only got really Walsh in there. They're going to probably dominate the midfield again against, I don't know, who, Paddy Dow and who else is going in there? Setterfield. I don't know. So, yeah, I think I like that a lot, especially with no defender cover. You don't want to get an injury in the last week. And
they did throw Gus on the outside in the fourth quarter. But his CBAs were quite good. His CBAs were 59%. Last week, they were 57%. So he did slow up in the fourth quarter. But I think it's worked for them having him in the midfield. So I think they're going to stick with that and we get 50-ish again.
Yeah, I mean, he was tied for second on contested possessions behind Clary. So, more than Viney, more than Petrarca.
Yeah, I mean, they all dominated, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They all had double-digit
they probably
figures,
will.
But yeah.
I'd say they will again.
Yep.
Chera as well, actually. So Chera and Walsh versus that big midfield.
Right.
I think they get the chocolates. So, I just think that's a good one for no defender cover. But if you can get up to a Walsh or a Parrish, I think, do we all agree you go them instead? Probably. Yeah.
Yes. JD, would you take Dawson over Angus Brayshaw? Dawson plays North and Port.
If you didn't have him?
Yes. If you didn't have Dawson, then yes, I would probably still take him over Gus Brayshaw, just because the North Melbourne matchup should be like 130, 140, right?
Yeah. If he pushes up the ground.
And then his last 3 games against Port have all been over 110. I know 2 of those are the Swans, and then one of them was where he kicked the goal at the start of this year to clutch it. So that was definitely overscaled. But yeah, I don't see why he couldn't knock up to decent 100s in these last 2 games. So yeah, Dawson over Brayshaw if I had to pick.
And he scored 130 as well on North this year too. Yeah, I don't mind it.
JD, do you have a word from our sponsors?
Yes, I do, George. That was a very good transition of yours. It was definitely not obvious. I mean, we could have talked about, given that we're talking about Carlton already, one of the smooth mover matchups we saw from the weekend just gone. Someone like a Charlie Cameron matched up on a Sard. I don't know if you guys were watching much of this game, but I thought it was very interesting to see who you would give the win to of these 2 smooth movers. Sard had, I think, 24 touches, bunch of contested possessions, like 500 meters gain, I want to say. But Cameron, who was matched up on, had 2 goals, only 11 touches or so, but then had 8 score involvement. So who would you have given the chocolates to?
I think Sard.
Sard was good, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I would have picked Cameron. I feel like even though Sard was good, Cameron was damaging in everything he touched. But regardless, the transition's ruined, and we'll just jump into a word from our sponsor, Manscaped. And lads, it is Father's Day in Australia. We've mentioned it a couple of times already, but it is still ahead of us. It's just around the corner, and our friends at Manscaped are here to ensure that all father figures out there are looking daddy material this June. Can't believe I read that. Please erase the footage. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, which includes a signature lawnmower 4.0, is the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. And George, it also includes a pair of sturdy boxers, which you've been wearing, loving. Are you going to model for us for good. YouTube fans?
In a few months, maybe getting back into the gym, but not going to model or anything, especially for our audience. I'm not sure they'd be too keen anyway. Although I have had some OnlyFans requests over the years, but on the boxes, I never wore boxes because they're always uncomfortable for me. Honestly, I wore Manscaped boxes. I wear them all the time now. So highly recommend if you someone that doesn't wear boxes and you you want to give these a go, highly recommend because they are unbelievably comfortable, keep me warm. So,
wow.
Highly recommend.
And that right there is no dad joke. So treat him and yourself and join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you use code FTTV at manscaped.com. Trust me, his dad bod will thank you. And if you want to be as smooth below the belt as the players we've been talking about are above the ground, then Manscaped is your package or your ticket to get there. So, yes, thank you to them for sponsoring us once again.
Code FTTV, 20% off. One more time. And we'll move on to, we're going to reflect, every week we'll reflect on part of our season. So for this week, we're going to reflect on a sliding doors moment or trade that you could have made, that you did make that worked really well, or one that didn't work very well at all. That could have netted you massive points. So I'll start. I remember...
No. Pause. This is garbage. Every week, George looks for a new way for us to say, should have got Sicily, should have got Brodie. This is BS. Can we talk about something different?
Well, look, you've ruined my point now.
You can talk about it, George. You can talk about it because you at least had those players. But me and JD, do you want us to tell you that we should have got Brodie for the 14th time?
Okay. Something other than Brodie. Okay, so what I was going to say,
clear answer.
Other than Brodie. Okay, something that could have changed my season. So you'd like this one, JD. But in round 2, after round 1, I saw Lipinski dominate. I got scammed. Didn't see enough sample size. One game wasn't enough. I jumped on. Who, by the way, I got rid of Brodie. He was part of that deal, so I could free up money for Crips the next week as well. So I brought in Lipinski, and I wanted to cash in Max Gawn because at the time I was like, English is 200k cheaper, and he's putting more points on Gawn. Looks unreal, number 1 ruck. What I could have done is instead of Lipinski, I could have gone to Jared Witz. And at the time, I didn't think it was sustainable, but in hindsight, Witz was always going to go up a bit in price, and Gawn was always going to come down, even though Gawn went way back up and back down and whatnot. But jumping off Gawn was the wrong move. But if I at least went to Witz, I wouldn't have had to pay 600 for him afterwards, and I wouldn't have had to use Gawn in and out or trade him back in later on. So that was if I went Witz over Lipinski. I'm not sure how many points that would have got. I would have saved trades, would have saved points and less trades in the ruck. So that for me is something that I wish I did, but I had the rose-colored glasses on and I didn't want to see. I wanted my Pat Lit pod, but didn't quite work out. So that was my sliding doors moment. Will Brodie aside, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, look, let's talk about Brodie. We won't talk about Sicily, and we won't talk about. We will talk about Bailey Smith this week because even though bringing in Bailey Smith was the right call, the trade itself was actually interesting to look at because the person I got rid of for Baslenka was Dacos, and so I like sideways a couple of McDonald to Thompson and Stevens to Clark to free up another 160k to facilitate this trade. So I could have saved myself 3 trades by not getting in Bailey Smith and held Dacos as a defender. Could have got rid of Crisp, could have got rid of Short. So that is, just looking at that stands out to me as something that really could have been a seasonal difference maker of hundreds of points, multiple trades, lots of money. So there you go, round 10. Disaster.
That was the week I got led. So imagine if you got led that week.
When did I get led? It's a good question. I got him in round 14 after his bye.
I remember I got him in when Bailey Smith was confirmed to get DPP basically, and you guys went for Baz, and then he got mini meltdown.
Yeah. So you could probably say that to me instead. I got Steele probably instead of Led, which he got me 270s. Had to go out, and when he went out, I got Baz instead of Led. But I don't think I could have afforded it. But then the following round 11, I got Witz for 620. So maybe I should have got Led then and just played DC in the ruck because I kept DC forward. So that's probably it. Not getting Witz, just putting DC in the ruck for the next 6-8 weeks of whatever I kept him for, getting in Led in the mids, and then not sort of having to watch him rack up 40 touches for the last 3 months. And then, probably captaincy points as well. You guys are probably up on me on that as well. since I've had to sort of go left field. Whilst I've actually not done too badly, I think, just having the not to worry about it would be nice.
I think,
but I'll still mention Brodie just because I will say, George, if me and JD got him, you'd be absolutely in our dust.
Do you guys remember I paid $350 for him?
I know, and it's still good.
Yeah,
we still should have done that. Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
That's like round 6 once again. I brought in Goey if I just paid up for Brodie at that point.
Yep.
Stubbornness
still, JD. I mean, we both
haters
probably
gonna hate.
Oh, look, all I can say is
if
if you see these last few scores out of Brodie, the prophecy's finally coming true. It may be 20 rounds too late, but I always knew he was a spud. And to be honest, his contested work at stoppages has been very good, but I think he is being overhyped a little bit as a player because he's not doing any defensive running whatsoever. And the last few weeks, he's seemed to be like very confident with his disposal, especially his kicking, and it has not been good. Like the turnovers, the out of bounds, like I don't know, maybe it's just me as a Will Brodie hater, but I feel like his form has not been great the last few weeks, and his time on ground's been dropped to reflect that, even though Fife's not in the side.
Yeah, he needs to do the contested work. That's where he's absolutely his best, and then sort of outside of that.
They got West Coast and GWS last 2 weeks. So I'm sure he'll be fine for those matches, though.
Yeah. Then probably if Brayshaw gets tagged, he'll be fine last round as well.
Yep.
I think we can move on to anything else?
No, just going to say, looking forward to never talking to him about him again.
Exact same thought. 2 more weeks and then Will Brodie's in the rearview mirrors and I'll never hear that name again. Oh my God.
I feel like I should just get a custom T-shirt with Will Brodie on it and just
put it on your back wall so we see it every pod.
Get like a picture, get like a framed picture. Get rid of the family photo, put Will Brodie in and chuck it in the back. Something like that. I think we can move on to captains and then we'll get into Discord Q&A. I think they're mostly troll questions. I think you filtered them out, but I think I want to read the troll ones just for fun. Captains this week.
I did see there was a few FPL questions in there, and if you are into the FPL season started up, there's a channel running with it. The boys are already chatting. I know both of these two Nuffies are into it this year. George has already made like 4 mistakes.
George's already traded, thinking he could reverse.
Mistake 1, signing up. Mistake 2, the starting lineup. Mistake 3, trading 3 times already in week 1.
Nobody told me you can't reverse trades. I woke up this morning seeing Haaland, who I spelled with the R.
Harland.
Anyway, FPL basically, for those that don't play, transfers or trades cost you points. You get like 1 free a week, and then any more than that, they cost you points. Yeah. So I did 3 trades this morning, and I'm negative 8 points already. I'm running the reverse weekly, thinking that you could reverse it.
And it's not an
and they weren't good ones.
Right? It's like the equivalent of like 150, 200 SuperCoach points to
just week 1,
4th trade each week.
Getting rid of them. Yeah, probably more because the percentage, right? Like scored 60 and George has already got rid of 8 points, which is like
and the most
15% or something.
Yeah. And people keep saying that they're bad trades. And I'm like, I didn't mean to trade. Like, I don't know.
You press confirm. You can see what you can do without confirming it.
Well, sometimes learning the hard way is
get to the captain
is the best way. But I think there's some questions on that. But regardless, we will go to the Discord Q&A.
Wait, so we're going to do captain, vice captain. Sorry, I threw you off.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's pretty easy for you guys, right?
I think it's simple this week because Laird has to have the VC against North, one of the easiest matchups with the in-form midfield of the competition. It's hard to see him get anything other than a 130, 140 this week unless they send a hard tag to him. And even then, I don't know, the way he's moving at the moment, hard to see him not break that. Captain option this week for me seems like it's going to be Oliver into a depleted Carlton midfield, as we've kind of talked about. No Crips, no Hewitt, no Kennedy. They don't really have a good matchup for Oliver, to be honest. Like, Dow's not going with it. That's funny just thinking about. Chera can't match him. I think Chera didn't do anything on Neil either. And Walsh is just undersized. Like, it's just not a good matchup. So, Oliver should have his way with them. Otherwise, outside of that, there's not really a ton to like. The St Kilda Brisbane matchup on the Friday night, we're probably seeing Neil get tagged, and Steele hasn't been in the best form. Took against Geelong. Geelong have been somewhat decent at stopping midfielders. So I just can't see Miller going off. Port's been pretty good at restricting midfielders as well. So, Merritt, I don't fancy. Maybe Parrish, if you're picking him up, isn't the worst backup option if you don't have any of the others. Swans against Collingwood would be the only other one. So, captain of Mills there, I would understand for those that have Mills. But yeah, really not much else, I don't think, apart from that. You've got Brayshaw against West Coast. I guess that's the only other one that you could look at as well if you're a Brayshaw owner. But I'd probably still have Oliver ranked above Brayshaw and maybe Mills too. Yeah, probably. I mean, Oliver's been basically M1 for most of the year outside of this really insane second half from Laird. So keep it simple. Laird and Oliver if you've got them. Enno, what are you doing with no Laird?
That's what I was about to say. Probably worth talking about a non-Laird owner like me, who the best two options would be Clary and Brayshaw, but they play at the same time. So I need to VC someone before Clary because I think I just keep the C on him safe.
I have an idea.
Dawson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on him right now. So shoot for the stars. If it doesn't happen, I'm pretty happy just to go Clary.
You could go huge.
Anyway, so
what do you think about one of the dogs against GWS?
I was thinking Bont.
Bont.
Maybe
I guess
Dunk.
the Bont gets tagged is the risk.
Yeah.
I like the Dunk suggestion. He's been good the past two.
Yeah. What's his history GWS like? Oh, really good. Not really good, but good. 114, 130, 130. So that's another one. Yeah.
McRae's been 36% CBAs. So maybe that opens up for Dunks.
Yeah.
I'll just check
Dawson or Dunks, but I'm pretty happy just to ride onto Clary.
Yep.
In the end.
Yep.
Dunkley's 68. Yep. That's more than it's been for a month.
If you had Mills, you'd be doing Clary into Mills.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Easy.
Yep.
Sounds good. I'll ask you boys some questions from the Discord. Enno, Kane to Haaland this week, yes or no?
Well, unfortunately, if you didn't do it already, it's too late. But yes. Yeah, I would. But yeah, it's irrelevant really, because if you haven't done it, or unless you got cash in the bank, but not many people start with cash in the bank, you can't afford it. But yeah, George has already done it, but he's just done two others with it.
Kane's going to be reading his Twitter. He's going to be proving the haters wrong this week. Tough matchups. Be damned. He's going to go big. So yeah. Kane hat trick this week.
On Kane.
Yep.
Hold your nerve.
Now we've sort of answered. Yeah, I wish we sort of answered this before.
No, ask Luca's question. Come on, it's in there. I see it.
Oh, okay. Would you rather have dinner with Andrew Tate or LeVar Ball?
Finally, a diet that'll see me getting fit for summer. I'm going to have a 6-pack if that's my options for dinner. I'm going to be going freaking hungry every week. Awful question. You should be banned for that. All right, sorry, move on.
It'd be LeVar Ball. Andrew Tate's a fucking moron. LeVar Ball would at least be funny.
Never lost.
Next question is Parrish or Andy Brayshaw in one word?
Parrish.
George convinced me. I go Parrish.
Not the Essendon bias. Me. Okay.
I was going to pick Brayshaw.
Bringing up that Brayshaw tag. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Would you? So this is an interesting one. This guy has 2 trades left and doesn't have Crips. So his suggestion is he's got 2 trades left. Should he do Short and Darcy to Harry Perryman and Max Gawn?
I saw this.
Short and Perryman and Hall.
What is Perryman's price? Because I think Darcy to Gawn's really good, but having to do Perryman.
Actually, Perryman's actually more than Short. So that's a.
Oh. So can we look at who else is around that? What sort of 460?
Perryman's 5 rounds actually pretty good. If you, I think it's like nearly 110 if you take out the injury game, and his CBAs are
89% on the weekend, but that's because he was following Merritt around. He was the tagger.
The fact he can do Short to Perryman anyway, surely he can do Darcy to Gawn regardless, right?
Must have money.
And then just keep a trade, maybe. Is Perryman that much better than Short? I know he's been in probably better form, but
what's Hall's price? Can he go Hall over Perryman?
490, so maybe he can't quite get there.
Or Hall's 474, Perryman's 458. So yeah, maybe he can't go there. I mean, I don't mind Perryman as an option.
444 and just came off a 120.
problem is like Perriman's got the dogs. Even if he's playing in the midfield, he's not going to score that well, right? Like it's just not going to happen. I don't know. I think I'd rather hold the second trade than use it, unless you can go to Hall.
Definitely do the Darcy to Gawn. Yeah, I'll just do it. Yep.
Next question. Any interest in Shannon Hearn? He's been scoring quite. I think he's 5 round of 110.
Mate, he's again like I was just looking before when we were waiting for you. He just scores. He's like 102. Just again like.
Witherden's injured, so
yeah, I know, but he's just so old, but still does it. I still probably wouldn't. Oh, it's 2 rounds. I guess why not? If he's.
He's getting like 6 to 10 kickouts a week, basically, with no Witherden on the side. So as long as Witherden's out, he should have a safe floor. It's just the injury risk, given how old he is.
Yep. From Damo, Short to Hall or Darcy to Marshall.
See, this is harder. I think Short to Hall because Hall can go big for 2 weeks, whereas I don't think Rowan ends up beating Darcy by that much. Depends on the matchups.
Yeah, so Marshall's matchups aren't the best, although it doesn't seem to matter too far. He's got Brisbane on Friday. Big O's historically been somewhat restrictive, and then he's got Swans after that, and Hickey's starting to find some form. Hall's got 2 really nice matchups in Adelaide into his old team in Gold Coast, so you can imagine he could go big in both. I would say Shorts, though, has like good matchups with Hawks and Essendon as his final 2. And then who's the other person? Shrek. So Shrek's is like I'd say
150 on Nitnat last year. I looked at that.
Nitnat and Bruce is the last 2, which are reasonable. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Hall, the Short to Hall has bigger upside. I could see that doing 50 points a week for the next 2 weeks.
Yep, that's what I sort of concluded.
Aaron Hall had 1 tackle in the 4th quarter, and that was it in the first minute.
That was his only stat? Yeah, weird. He spent a lot of time on the bench, I think, right? Might have iced him game. I don't know. He's always a risk.
You think he could be injured?
I just find that strange, that's all.
Yeah, okay.
Slight red flag, that's all.
Yeah.
He's looked good, though. But that does worry me.
Yeah. I guess they're 2 worst players.
I'd go to Perryman or Whitfield. Even though I have the Dogs this week, I have that little faith in the whole holding up for 2 weeks. That's just me. That's pretty much all our questions, I think.
Walsh with hold midfield to himself or Steele?
Oh, he can get up to Steele.
I go Steele.
Yeah. I think I go Steele.
Is it worth using 3 trades for FPL, George?
He already has.
I learnt the answer is no. I might have to use that wild card thing.
Sometimes it is. Like I've taken a -8 before and paid it back, but not week 1. Is that it? I guess we can mention
a lot of them are on Crips, so we've kind of answered them.
Yeah.
Probably the last one for you, actually, this is a good one. Who will be a bargain next year and who will be priced too high for next year? So I think I like a Hopper and a Dom Sheed in the midfield. And, in defense, like, I don't want to pay that much for Sinclair. Doc's going to be expensive. Sicily's way too expensive. Even the midfield, I think Clary's just too much, and he's a tag target, so he might have a down one.
Led too. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I don't think starting Led at 700. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
How old is he? Is he 29?
Yeah, he's 28 and a half at the moment.
Yeah.
So 29 is... I mean, Neil was 29 this year.
What he's doing. He's just so consistent, but...
Yeah, I would say a lot of the overperformers this year are just the ones that you won't touch next year. So Sinclair in defense, maybe Doherty in defense, Sicily in defense. In the midfield, like you're definitely not starting 3 of like Laird, Oliver, Neil. You're probably starting 1 of those at
one
most.
max. Yeah. Like you can get 2 can steal for how much cheaper? We're going them.
exactly. And Walsh as well is going to be cheaper. Yeah, like easy. In the rucks, I don't think anyone's starting Wits next year at 110. It's just not likely.
Any of the rucks, I don't. It's just such a.
Gawn's on. I think Gawn's 114 or something, 113, something like that.
But like, are we wanting to go English? Oh, just that handy to English. I should have said that for the.
I know.
The
that's pain.
The sliding doors. That is just ridiculous. How negative that points are.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
It's we talk about whether something was deserved or not. That just not deserved for that to go that badly. Not deserved.
Well, Bruce knocked his head and hasn't woken up. I don't know.
Yeah. Bruce has been a ruiner of seasons. And the forward line, it's a little bit harder to say. I mean, the forward line is probably there's not anyone obvious that we won't start. It's all just about who retains mid-forward status then continues to play as a midfielder. The cheaper options that I like there is like Dylan Moore. He's a little bit underpriced. Even though he's still going to be expensive. But yeah, there's lots of. We started pulling together a list of some of the cheaper options. There's lots of really interesting ones. We've got more than our teams can field already. It's just going to be a matter of do they keep their good roles in the preseason? What type of preseason do they have? A lot of them depend on new coaches as well. There's a lot of GWS and North names on the list, and there's a lot of West Coast players returning from injuries as well. So yeah, there's going to be some good options.
Probably bring that up next week. The list.
Yep. Just last one quickly. Bontempelli retains forward status, priced at 117. I think that's 650. You start Bont for 650 in the forward line?
No, probably not.
It's a lot, yeah.
Will probably slightly depend on their opening fixture and what they're doing with their midfield.
Dunkley as well, yeah.
Because, I mean, all the start of this year, right, the reason why Bont got forward status is because they played him forward and gave everyone else an opportunity, basically rested Bont for half the year. If they're going to do that again next year, you definitely don't want Bont. But if they're going to play him, maybe like 70, 80% CBA mid from round one, you probably just want him.
Full preseason, no niggles. It'll be hard to swerve, put it that way. Because he did it to me last year, and just watching him go bonkers and not being able to get him, like led this year pretty much. It's just no reason he can't do that next year, even if he's pricey.
What's Bont's lowest score this year? Do you know?
I reckon
I'm pretty sure he was
last week, maybe.
So he had
even at the start of the year, he was just going hundreds flat, wasn't he?
He had 88 in round 6, and then his next lowest was a 96 in round 11.
He doesn't. Yeah,
He's only had 3 games below 100 this year. Only 3 sub-tons. Everything else has been over 100.
Yeah,
he's playing injured too.
I'm starting it. Yeah, I would start him.
Final question for you, Eno. What is a reasonable FPL rank at the end of the season if you're a first-year player?
Probably top like 200 or 300k. You should be happy about it, but you've got to stick it out. That's the problem. Not the problem, but the hard part. Probably first year. Like 3-4 years ago, I started playing. Probably longer, but I genuinely 3 weeks in, I'd be like, and just forget about it and stop. And then the last 2 years, 2 to 3, I've sort of looked at it. But even still, I think 2 years ago, I just stopped looking after game week 20 and ended up probably like ranked 3 million. So like you have to stick it out. And there's a few people like in the Discord, like Seb, for example, he even didn't look at it for about a month, got back into it and started, engaging himself and got to like the top 10k over the last 2 or 3 months. Like it is possible to catch up rank pretty quickly in this game because of just how variance it is. It's soccer. It's not SuperCoach. You expect your player averages 100 to get 80 to 120 every week. In this, if they don't score, they can blank, or if they score a hat trick, they can go nuts. Like it's different sport. So
I honestly don't know how you can do FPL after enduring SuperCoach. Like by the end of the AFL year, I'm so burnt out from fantasy. I'll casually play some NFL in the off season, but I'm looking forward to the break. Get ready for next year.
I don't know. I think I'm just too much of a geek and love it too much. But you do have to change your mindset for sure. You have to accept the flaws in FPL and the shit that will happen to you. Like people pick Amara's game week 1 and he's on the bench, doesn't start after like having a great preseason. That's just, you got to just accept that stuff. But yeah, if you stick it out, I think like a top, probably even like if you top 500k in the first year, that's pretty good. They're going to hit 10 million players this year. So
what's that equivalent in a SuperCoach then?
I haven't done the math, but I think, yeah, like top 1k would be like top 100k kind of.
So if there's
50 times more.
Something like that.
More like 70 actually.
Yeah. Then you got to count the in-game, like the heart. Obviously, with every game, like how many people do you guys reckon are playing SuperCoach at this point in the season? Out of the 170 that it says,
probably 50.
70, 50, yeah. So you do that the same to FPL, 10 mil. It's probably 2 mil, 3 mil that actually are playing by the second half of the year, because of how long it is. I guess what I was going to do, bring up. We've got the number 2 league, boys. So can we get there to the number 1 league?
18-man league.
Yeah. So the normal classic 18-man league that it usually is the Sweats League. So it's most of the boys from Discord and then a couple of guys I know from Twitter. George invited a couple. I know Tommy's in it. I don't want to mention him again, but Tommy, we need you to list, mate, for the last couple. But what are we like? 1.5 thousand points off or something total. So across the 18 teams. What are the old SCS boys, George? You been keeping an eye on them?
No, I check the forum every now and then. Probably less later in the season, but pre-season I post on there and stuff, so it's always good.
Yeah. So
they had a good year.
I'm in the top 6, 10, and 12-man leagues, and number 2 for 18. So I need to get the 18-man over the line.
The 18-man is that's the class.
It's the one with the most teams by far. I mean
we got the top.
We're first
in the 10-man.
Yeah,
Chrissy.
12-man, we're top 2. But like, how many leagues realistically are 10 and 12-man?
The 10-man has 5k leagues, and it's usually of more serious teams, right? Because the thing with the 18-man is it's the default, so you do have a lot of leagues in there that aren't that good. So even though there's like nearly 16,000 18-man leagues, not all of those are very serious.
Experts suck. He's playing mid spuds. Yeah. Oh, we're in this one, I think, George.
Yeah, it's a big footy one.
Yeah, big footy. So, but the 18 team, yeah, as you were saying, GD, that's probably we got the most leagues. So,
I think we can wrap it up there. Any final words?
Probably mention maybe what we're doing over the next month, I guess. JD had a couple of plans for that or ideas.
Well, I mean, we are going to be producing the podcast through to the grand final. So at the end of the year, we'll obviously swap off SuperCoach content beyond maybe just a little bit of thoughts for next year. And then moving more into the AFL fantasy format that's going to run through the finals from Moreira's Magic. They're planning to do a special little thing where I don't have all the details in front of me, but we basically pick a team each week, and it's not about cash or anything. It's basically just picking the best players for that round and making a team off that, which would be pretty fun. So we'll go through that, and then obviously talk a little bit of real football as well. We'll do like predictions, reviews, that type of stuff, and see ourselves through the finals, which will be a bit of fun. It'll be a little bit less serious, I guess, than the SuperCoach stuff. Yeah. But yeah, looking forward to it. So tune around and be prepared for that.
That Moreira's thing, we could do that for SuperCoach as well, right? Sort of just do the same thing or steal it.
I think he's got like a full-blown platform for it.
Yeah, we'll show that. We'll show that, but maybe we can then just do our own on notes or something. I know.
Okay.
Not like we care too much about scores in the finals, but I think I said it last week. Like you can find players for next year from it. I know Kitty Coleman has done his hamstring a couple of times, but he played that role in the finals, and that's where we sort of touted him for this year. So maybe there's someone else.
He's 500k now.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Not for next year, but I mean, like finding another player. Yeah. And then just talk real footy, I guess. Who's going to win the flag? We'll do some tips each week.
Yeah, tips will be good.
Pretend like we can analyze it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you guys next time.